Peace be to you all. Assalamualaikum. This is Omar Abdul Malik, physician associate and health educator. So today I thought I would do a video about one of the places where I was trained, and that is DC General Hospital. It no longer exists. It was closed in 2001 as a hospital during the Anthony Williams administration. It was considered too big a drain on the city of Washington, D.C. It was turned into a homeless shelter, but then it was closed even as a homeless shelter after a little girl went missing and was, I think her body was later found, but she was murdered by, apparently murdered by a janitor who worked at the homeless shelter. And then the building was actually torn down in 2018. So there is very little that remains of the of any indication that there was once a hospital here. Here you can see in the distance, I'm going to point my finger, if you can, I guess you can't see my finger. Yeah, so here I'm using this right there. That is that's a beautiful set of townhomes, luxury townhomes that have been placed on the campus of, it's called the DC General Hospital campus. This here is the thriving DC jail. Ironically, that's wasn't torn down, but that's you know, the prison system that we have in the United States. It's a for-profit prison system in many cases. So the jails aren't going anywhere, and of course it's mostly black guys in there. And it was an interesting relationship between DC Jail and DC General Hospital, because I used to see the patients from DC Jail would go, when they would get sick or injured, they would be brought to the hospital in the lockdown ward. So we, when I was a student at Howard University doing my PA degree, we would see the patients on the what they call the lockdown ward, and we would treat them for their ailments and do histories and physicals on them. So that was really interesting. And during the this was about 98 to 2000 when I was doing my rotations at DC General Hospital. We saw a lot of guys coming in shot up, stabbed. It was during the time when Washington, D.C. was named the murder capital of the world because our murder capital of America, rather. We had one of the highest murder rates in the country in comparison to our relatively small population. It was a really devastating thing, but a lot of wayward brothers wanted to get street creds, and is one of the young black guys I took care of. When I asked him, I said, "What are you guys doing out there?" He says, "Banging, doc." We would be treating these guys. I did my trauma surgery, or my surgical rotation, and ER, internal medicine, and pediatrics rotation at DC General Hospital. So I'd see a lot of the devastating effects of just people on the low end of the socioeconomic level when they don't have access to good living standards. So they come from highly dysfunctional homes and communities. The end result is a lot of psychopathology that's manifested in sexual promiscuity. So you've got a lot of babies that are born not just out of wedlock, but they're sick because the mothers weren't taking care of themselves. A lot of them were on crack. We still had a crack epidemic going on during that time. A lot of the fathers were locked up, and particularly in DC jail. So I see a lot of low birth weight babies babies with deformities and fetal alcohol syndrome and so forth on the peds unit. And then, I meet a lot of the mothers. And then, and then I did my psych rotation at Howard University Hospital. So I'll do another video about that. But, DC General was a great loss when it closed down, because this was the only hospital other than United Medical Center, which at the time was called Greater Southeast, that served the population in Southeast, which is predominantly black. It's like probably 95% black. And we really needed that. And it was a great boon for me, being a black male, because it was all of my mentors, almost all of them were black doctors, black, including the residents and the chief residents. We did our rotations with the medical students from Howard University, and you can see here in the distance, if I can do my pencil here, this is DC General, or not, I'm sorry, this is RFK Stadium. So that's a football stadium there. And then we've got, we have this clinic here is, this is a small building. This is used for, as a methadone clinic and like a women's wellness clinic. And one of the buildings here does some things with sexually transmitted diseases. I'm doing this inside my van because it's just so it's so windy outside. All you would hear is the wind blowing instead of my voice, and it's freezing. It's in the teens. But like I said, DC General was a great loss to the black community, because it trained thousands of clinicians. So those were nurses, PAs like myself, physicians, most of them black. So when we lost that hospital, we lost a really great training ground. It hired thousands of black folks, cafeteria workers, janitors, security guards, a lot of folks from DC police, medical secretaries, and it was just a great loss. Every once in a while I'll meet a doctor who not many of them are left. A lot of them are retired or dead. This was more than 20 years ago when I was there. But it's when I do see them, it's like a homecoming, because we talk about just what a great boon DC General Hospital was to our community, and what a great loss it was. It was a level 1 trauma center. We helped save a lot of lives there, and we lost a lot of lives there. It's hard to take care of people when they haven't taken care of themselves. I learned, one of the most important things I learned at DC General Hospital was how to tell people that their loved one died. Like I said, a lot of young black guys died just from black on black violence. So I had to tell, my first case was when I had to tell a mother and father that their son didn't make it. He died. He was 1 week shy of his 15th birthday, and I sewed his body up after the surgeons got through working on him, and washed him off and put him in a plastic drape, and then took him down to our morgue area. Nobody had talked to the parents yet to let them know where he was and what had happened to him. And I just remember the mother just losing it, just blood curdling screams of sorrow. And the father, of course, was trying to be strong and keep it together. But I saw that a whole lot at DC General. But like I said, we also saved a lot of guys. And I had some really great mentors there. One of them was Dr. B, who was the head of our PA program for a while. He was a great mentor for me, and he actually ran the emergency room for a while. But that's it for now. I think I'm going to do a series of videos on hospitals that have closed in the DC area that have served mostly the black community and trained a lot of black clinicians like myself, and what a loss it was for our community, because we have more that are closing now. Providence Hospital, and there's always talk of United Medical Center possibly closing. Well, that's it for now, guys. Oh yeah, a couple of other places. But if you have any interest in being a PA like me, or a healthcare or a health educator, please feel free to contact me via Instagram, and I will help you to the best of my ability. See if you can see me here. Okay, take care. Peace.